Hello, and welcome to our informational presentation regarding the culture of Sri Lanka. This is meant to prepare employees who might be relocating to Sri Lanka to prepare them for the culture shock that comes with traveling to these countries. My name is Robert, and I'm joined by my partner Morgan, who's going to be assisting us during this presentation. So just a brief summary. We're going to be tackling three main topics. We've got religion in the workplace hierarchy, and food dining customs. Now, all three of these have major differences than what they would have in the workplace in Western cultures, and we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit here. So I'm going to turn it over to Morgan, and she's going to do the first culture shock for you.
Thank you, Robert. Hi, everyone. I'm Morgan Keefe, and I'll be discussing the culture shocks that we found in this project. The first one I'll be discussing is religion in the workplace. In Sri Lanka, Buddhism is the predominant religion, followed by approximately 70.2% of the population. Core Buddhist values such as mindfulness, compassion, and integrity influence workplace culture, often encouraging ethical conduct and long-term relationship building. Hinduism and Islamic are also significant at 12.6% and 9.7% of the population. Religious practices in the workplace can impact daily operations through dress codes, dietary preferences, and scheduled prayer times. These factors may contribute to occasional misunderstandings among employees from different religious backgrounds. To help prevent such issues, it is advisable that Smith & Company implement diversity and inclusion training to ensure a respectful and accommodating work environment. The second culture shock we found was workplace hierarchy. Sri Lanka business culture typically operates within a formal top-down hierarchical structure. Decisions are primarily made by senior managers or executives, and it is uncommon for junior employees to challenge or question authority. Offering unsolicited suggestions to superiors may be considered inappropriate. As a result of this structure, decision-making processes can be prolonged as approval from higher-level management is generally required before action is taken. Understanding and respecting this hierarchical dynamic will be essential for Smith & Company personnel operating in Sri Lanka. I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Robert to talk about our third culture shock.
Thank you, Morgan. So for our third culture shock here, we've got food customs and dining etiquette. So traditionally when going to other countries, the food experience is going to be vastly different than what it is going to be here in America, and the same can be said for Sri Lanka. So one of the things that stood out to me when researching this is the way that they do not use utensils at all. There's no forks, no spoons, no knives. They exclusively use their hands, and specifically their right hand, when eating meals. The left hand is reserved for cleaning, and it can be seen as very rude to eat with your left hand or to eat without your hands at all. And then one other thing that stood out when researching is the tea breaks. So the companies over there will take many tea breaks throughout the day, even stopping important work to make sure they get these tea breaks in, because it's so important part of their work culture, and it's literally going to get a cup of tea. Everybody over there takes very seriously the tea breaks, and it's crucial to understand and conform to this information so you don't come off as being rude in the work culture if you're moving over there.
Here we have our works cited page where we found all of our information and got all of our pictures from.
Are there any questions? It looks like we've got one here. What was the most rewarding part of your research? So the most rewarding part of my research was really finding out just how starkly different Sri Lanka and other countries can be from America, because I've never left America. I've never been to any foreign country. And it just fascinated me how, not even just the workplace culture, but just culture in general, how different it really is from America. And it really makes me want to go there. And I found it very interesting when conducting our research. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Morgan, and she's going to answer her question for the last part of the presentation. Thank you.
The most rewarding part about this presentation for me was working with someone who I've never worked with before, which is Robert, and learning all the differences when it comes to working in a different country, because I have personally always wanted to work in a different country. So doing this had me think of all these things that I need to keep in mind. Thank you.